Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on the latest developing stories. We start with this report claiming that Barcelona are looking for a good and cheap pivot midfielder in January. We are going to discuss on that as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about Xavi, as the manager is reportedly likely to make changes in each line when Barcelona face Real Sociedad. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. After yet another tricky summer transfer window during which they had to juggle financial fair play problems, Barcelona were able to strengthen the squad quite significantly, even if some operations were left until the deadline day. However, as we close in on the January window, it appears that Barca are looking to add more players to their roster, given that the La Liga title race promises to be a close one, while the Catalans also intend to compete hard in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Vitor Roque's incorporation has been made the priority for the winter, although reports suggest that the club would need around 13 to 14 million euros in fair play margin to register him. Now, though, Sports Tony Juan Marti is reporting that Barcelona are weighing up the possibility of signing a good and cheap pivot midfielder to reinforce their squad in the winter. If there are no casualties, the attack has enough players in the form of Ferran Torres, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewandowski, and Joao Felix. Oriol Romeo, on the other hand, is the only natural pivot midfielder, although Ilkay Gundogan or Gavi could also play the role. This is why Barca are considering prioritizing the signing of a pivot over the arrival of Vitor Roque in January. The sporting department has already set to work to find a viable target, although much will depend on how the club generate fair play margin. It must also be remembered that the registration of Gavi's contract via non-judicial means is also on the plate for the Blaugrana. As iterated earlier, in order to register Vitor Roque, 13 to 14 million euro in fair play is needed. On the other hand, bringing in a pivot on loan or as a low-cost signing would have a much smaller impact on the financial fair play situation. Barcelona, though, would prefer a short-term loan deal as they believe that signing a player in January who is seen to have a long-term future at the club is complicated financially. Of course, the January window might just be another beauty one because countless reports recently have been talking about the fact that Barcelona want to go for another pivot. Of course, this comes as an urgent something because of the fall of form for Oriol Romeo. Of course, we quite remember this past summer window, Romeo was the pivot that Barca successfully got because he's cheap, he was available. Barca's financial shortcomings did not permit the club to go to get the players that they highly prioritized in their wish list. We can remember we're linked with Martin Zubimendi, who was Javi's first choice. We're linked with Joshua Kimmich of Bayern. We were linked with Marcelo Brozovic, and all of those players, all that pursuit came to nothing because of financial shortcomings. So Oriol Romeo was the only affordable one. Of course, I think the fifth choice in the wish list for Xavi, it cost about 3.5 million euros. And of course, there were many people who were doubting the fitness or the you know, people were doubting if, like, asking themselves, would Romeo be successful as a Barca pivot? Or, like, is Barca not big more than him? Like, I don't know. Because personally, it was something of like, well, it's just a try and see. Because Romeo, yes, he must be a player that is doing well, but he's not that renowned. Had it been somebody who have that quality, we could have been hearing the name of Romeo, for a long time. But Romeo is just a player that I think I started getting him. It's only when Barca were showing so much interest in him after they have failed to get to their top targets. Because honestly, there's nothing special about Romeo. Romeo's class is not for Barca. We are too big a club to sign players in such caliber. I'm sorry, but with all due respect, we need better players than that. We need better players. Barca nowadays is just like, I don't know, any person can just play for Barca. We understand that they're the financial stability. We are not good enough. Like, things are bad. Things are red. Barca will sign a lot of final and free agents, players that don't even reach the quality that they used to be. In those days, Barca players were players that are top level. But right now, I don't know. Or Romeo being a starter at all times because there's no pivot or natural pivot like him. So I think Barca have every right to start digging their heels to see what they can do because I don't think we can succeed. Having Romeo as our starting 11 DM and we're saying that we want to go and win Champions League, we want to win what? We want to win La Liga? Come on guys, it's not looking realistic. Then on to the next story of discussion. Following the defeat to Real Madrid in La Liga last weekend, Barcelona will be, looking to redeem themselves when they face off against Real Sociedad on Saturday night. The Blaugrana have dropped down to the fourth spot in the league standings, with 4 points now separating them from leaders Real Madrid. Of course, as such, it is imperative that the reigning champions of La Liga produce a strong reaction and get back to winning ways tomorrow against Emmanuel Iguazi's side at the Anoeta. Ahead of the tricky fixture against Real Sociedad on Saturday night, Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo is reporting that Barca manager Xavi Hernandez intends to make changes in all three lines of the pitch, with another crucial game against Shakhtar Donetsk coming up next week. It makes sense for the Barca Balls to rotate its troops and keep everyone fresh and ready. As such, the report states that Xavi will be making at least one change in attack, midfield, and defense when the Catalan heavyweights face off against the Basque outfit tomorrow night. With Rafinha and Lewandowski recovering from injury, and Lamine Yamal getting some rest by being used as a substitute, there is ample room for Xavi to rotate his attackers. Pedri has returned from injury and is in the squad to face Sociedad, but he is unlikely to start tomorrow. But Oriol Romeo could be a possible rotation option in midfield after not starting against Real Madrid, especially with Gundogan playing relentlessly. As for the defensive line, Jules Koundé has returned from injury and could be pushing for a start depending on his fitness. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.